Potato is tomato.
Hello, today is January 22nd, 2022.
Today, we're going to be talking about snow days.
Well, actually, we had two snow days back to back a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and that's kind of what has brought up this topic today. And for the first thing we're going to be talking about is, has COVID affected snow days at all?
In my thoughts, yeah, I think COVID has kind of affected snow days because you can't really socialize a lot anymore because of the virus. So people might want to just stay inside instead of going out.
Yeah, but like we're the fact that we're all bundled up, like you're so bundled up, you don't want your face to be exposed when it's like -20 outside. So you probably have some sort of like neck warmer on or something that covers up your face. So I think that in my opinion, there's no real difference because when we had our snow day lately, it was kind of like the same as every other day. We just like as every other snow day, we went sledding, we built snow forts, we did all those the same things, and I don't feel like it was any different. It was almost like we forgot COVID was a thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, it really depends. Like some kids might not have like a neck warmer that goes over their face. They might just have a hat and they might just not want to wear one. Um
hmm
so it really depends on who the kid is.
Yeah, like I think that snow days are a great thing, and as I just said, the fact that we almost forgot COVID was a thing, like those 2 days, it was a really nice relief, and we didn't have to worry about schoolwork. We had like an extra 2 days before we had to go back to school, and we had like it was just we had a day where we had some days where we just didn't have to do anything and we didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah. All right. So, next topic, what is climate change doing to our snow days? We don't get too many snow days anymore, correct?
Yeah, like I remember being a little kid and we'd have these amazing snow forts because it would snow so much that we could build the snow fort like as tall as our parents and we dig it all out and it was so nice. There was so much snow and we had like 5 snow days a year and it was amazing. But these days this we've only had 2 snow days this year and last year I don't remember how many we had. I don't even know if we had any. We might have had a couple, but we're getting like less and less snow days, and it's just so like it's getting hotter and hotter, and less snow is coming down, which means less snow days and not as many like forts and all this type of stuff.
Well, also, you really have to think, is climate change affecting our snow days? Because we saw almost 3 feet of snow fall um
hmm
last last Monday, last Monday and Tuesday, in the span of those 2 days, which we haven't seen a lot of in the past years. This was a record-breaking snowfall. So, is climate change affecting it? Because we just saw 2 feet.
Yeah, but like imagine what would happen without climate change. Imagine how much more snow would have came, and it's like it was cold. It was just cold enough for it to be snow and not like just rain, and it actually froze. So and it was just kind of like a lucky. It was just a really lucky like of nature just throwing some rain our way, and it was just cold enough to turn into snow. And imagine what that would have been without climate change. It would have been so much colder and we would have had way more snow.
All right. So the next topic is very personal in who the person is. What are the best things to do on a snow day?
Well, I think, in my opinion, some people don't like doing this, but my favorite thing to do, and it would also help out like my neighbors and all this, is I'd like shovel like their walkway, but rather than throwing the snow onto their lawn or on like the road or anything, I'd grab the snow and I'd all throw it into one big pile, and we'd try to get the pile as big as possible. And there were some years where we'd get it so high and the bigger it was, the better because you could then make a snow fort. You carve out the inside, and you could almost make it like a house with like multiple doors. And from this snow a day, we got a really good one this year where we got the entire lawn filled, and we almost couldn't go any taller, and we got to dig it all out. And there's been some really great years.
Probably my favorite thing to do is I have a almost I have a railing on my porch, and it's about 2 maybe 3 feet from the ground. So when it snowed, I loved doing front flips off of it. I found that very, very fun. Um I also just like the old fashioned tobogganing. I love doing that because it can never get boring, I'll say.
Yeah, like I love tobogganing as well, but me as a person, I don't like doing the same thing just over and over again. It gets really boring for me. So unless there's multiple hills or like there's jumps or something like that, I get bored. And also like I hate when like you'd hit like a pack of powdered snow and like it would go all in your face. But it was some good times because then you would be able to like go back to your house and get like hot chocolate.
Yeah, like I said, this is a very personal question. That one right there. Now, should we be online on snow days? Because I know some school boards have their kids doing online work on snow days.
Yeah, I think this is a really big thing. Sure, we do have like the technology to do this now that we've tested it online and we can join these meetings and all this, but it defeats the entire purpose of a snow day. It it shows that COVID is still a thing. The reason we're online is because of COVID, and that we don't get the relief of not having to do anything on these snow days because now we have to go into school. And it's like now that we have this technology, I'm worried that like even when COVID finishes, we're gonna be online on snow days. Thankfully, our school board doesn't do that, but there are some that make their kids join a meeting, or maybe they don't have an actual meeting, but they give them work and they expect them to like do the work, and it's it defeats the entire purpose of a snow day, and it I don't think it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that would 100% affect your mental health too, because your friends from a different school board that you used to go with, they're asking you, hey, can you go tobogganing or can you come over to my house so we can play in the snow outside? And you'd have to say no, unfortunately, because I've got schoolwork I have to do, and that would really that would really affect your mental health because you can't go outside when everybody else is asking you to.
Yeah, it's like I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. That why just because we can doesn't mean we should. That's like saying just because we can jump in this volcano because it's like 100 meters away doesn't mean we should. It there's a reason you don't. And the same with this. There's a reason you don't because snow days are something for you to enjoy, to play outside, and it's like it would be different if they've never experienced a snow day before, but we've all these kids have already had snow days, and now you're taking it away from them, and it's just it I don't it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. And unfortunately, we have to move on to our next topic. There are kids whose parents have to go to work, and they might not have anyone to babysit them. Let's say their parents are healthcare workers or snowplow workers. Same thing. Same thing goes for when we go online.
Yeah, like some kids' parents, let's say when school goes online because of COVID, or let's say there's a snow day, and we don't have to go to school, or maybe even it's a PA day, and your parents still have to go to work. It's it's not like, especially with snow days, they come out of the blue. They're not scheduled. They don't give you any time to figure out like plans to keep. Like, let's say you have a little kid. There's no time to make plans for someone to watch after them. And sure, maybe you have some friends across the street or on your street that you could go to, but there's some people that don't. And let's say they're like healthcare workers or snowplow workers, or they have a job where they need to be in all day. They, it's hard for them to leave their little kid at home with no one to be there for them. And it's just a lot of people don't think about that when we have a snow day, and they just kind of just run outside and jump in the snow when these kids are stuck inside because they can't go anywhere because their parents are home. So, and there's like, what can you even do with that?
Now, you saying this question, it's very difficult to think about because you kind of have to go into their shoes and how they're feeling. Like there could be some pros and cons about having to stay inside. Like you're warm inside, you can play on your electronics, you can read, you can call a friend, you could play video games with them. But then there's also cons, like we said, it would have an impact on your mental health. You wouldn't be able to see your friends. You could only talk
Yeah,
to them, and it's a really difficult question to think about.
yeah, like it's just that there we don't always think about everyone else, and some people, I wouldn't say they're in a bad situation, but some people aren't always able to do the same things you would be able to do, and a lot of times people don't think about those other people, and it's a big thing, but that it's kind of been like swept under the rug, and not a lot of people think about it when we would have a snow day. And it's just like, let's say you have a 3-year-old and you have to go into work because it's a snow day, and you can't call like an aunt or a grandparent or a cousin or like an uncle or something like that. You can't call anyone on such short notice sometimes because you don't know what their situation is. Maybe they don't have anyone left in their family, and like, since snow days come up just like out of the blue, there's not always something for them. It's not There's not always something to do in those situations, and then they have to leave their like 3-year-old, or they might not be able to go into work that day, and they could get fired, or they could not earn money that month or something. And it's scary to think about when when you and me, we don't have to think about that because we like our parents are able to stay home on snow days, but some people don't aren't as fortunate as we are and get stuck in these situations.
Yeah, like I said, it really depends on the child. Like sometimes if you're at that age, you can go outside by yourself. But like you said, from kids under the age of 10, it's really difficult in that situation. And like the government can't. like can't take away your job if you have to stay home one day for your kid if you have a small job. But like you said, with healthcare workers and snowplow workers, they have to get out. And like I said, you kind of have to be in the kid's shoes to really feel what it's like.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's all about what their situation is, and we can't just assume what their situation is. You need to know them, and they need to be able to tell you. And there's nothing that the government can really do in that situation. And as you said, some jobs it's okay to miss a day or two, but other jobs that require you to be in there every single day without exception, if you were to miss, like, let's say we had like 2 snow days in a row, if you were to miss then, and let's say you had 2 snow days in a row and then a PA day, if you were to miss all 3 days, you could get fired and lose your job. And now we're gonna move into the next topic. Yellow. We're gonna talk about powdered snow or packing snow. Um, I feel like powdered snow is it's worthless. I feel like it's worthless and it doesn't do anything. And you can correct me if I'm wrong or anything like that. But you can do everything with packing snow. You can make a snowman. You can build a fort. You can build like a ramp for sledding. You can make a snowball fight. But with powdered snow, either you have to get like a compressor to compress all that stuff in and hope it holds, or it's just there to keep the snow from melting, like all around it. So if you have anything to say on that, go ahead.
Yeah, in my me personally, packing snow wins by a landslide, because it's so much better than powder snow. You can do so much more with packing snow. Like you said, you can build a snowman, you can have a snowball fight, you can build snow forts, and then with powdered snow, everything just kind of collapses. Now also with packing snow and powder snow, what about yellow snow? There's a lot of jokes about it, but it can actually be quite serious.
Yeah, like there's some kids, and it's okay because like sometimes they're little, sometimes they're not, but that like to eat snow, and it is just like water, but it comes from lakes, bodies of water that has like risen up into the sky and then fallen as snow. So it's not always good for you. Also, like people could step on it, and then there's like dogs that could pee on the snow, and sometimes you might not always see it. And it's like it literally waste from a dog's body that's coming out of them, and there's a reason why that's a reason why they're peeing it out. So like you got to be careful, and in general you shouldn't eat snow, just because it's bad for you, and there could literally could be anything in there. You can't tell. And now we're gonna move to our next topic. Um, this is kind of like a little personal topic, but at break, I remember when you would, like, let's say we're at school and there's like lunch break, we go outside, and I remember making like snowmans or like a fort or something, and then but then by the next break it would be like in ruins, and I'd always be so mad, and I'd be like, should we just destroy it now so that we have the pleasure of destroying it before they do? And then, or should we hope that no one destroys it? And like, how do you feel about that?
Uh, you can't really stop that from happening because it is just snow. And I know some people might complain saying, but we worked a really long time on it. But you can always make a new one, and it will eventually melt, and you can always just take a photo of it. But yeah, it is quite mean for some kids to just not care about it and knock it down. Um, and now also on the snowy topic, hot cocoa. Also, do you like marshmallows or no marshmallows in your hot cocoa or hot chocolate?
Well, to me, I like obviously I like having like those little marshmallows on top, but they melt in like 2 seconds, and then you're just left with this cream sitting on top. And I rather just eat the marshmallows before it goes in. So it's like it's nice to be like, yeah, I put like marshmallows in my hot chocolate and all that, but then they're just gone. And I'd rather just like grab a couple marshmallows, put them on like a little bowl or something, and just have like a little thing to dip into the hot chocolate or something like that.
Um, I quite like my marshmallows in hot chocolate more than in a dish, I guess, because it makes you want to drink it a lot faster, I'll say. Um,
Yeah.
I don't really like having them to the side because then also that's another bowl or dish to wash, and I think it's kind of like a waste.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just like you don't want to burn your tongue right off. So, yeah, it looks like that's all we have for today on this topic. Um, and I hope everyone has a great day, and goodbye.
Also, one more thing. Thank you so much for 600 listens on our podcast, and thanks for all the support.
Potato is tomato.